Hello everyone, JavaMentor.net here. In today's video, let's learn about why do we need build tool, what is a build tool, and let's learn about one of them, Gradle. Okay, so you remember when we created connection to our Postgres database that we had to add this jar file manually through file, project structure, and so on and so on. So we connected this jar and our Java application is using that jar to connect to the database properly. But if we take a look at our repository, that jar is not inside the repository. So if our colleague go into our repository, clone the code into his machine and try to start the code, he will have the exception that driver is not present and the code won't work for him. So what is the solution? First solution, although not the best one, is to commit this jar to the Git, to our GitHub, and then when our colleague cloned the code, jar file will be cloned at his machine and everything will work, right? That's the first option. But it's not that handy because on real projects you will need hundreds of jars. So if one jar is 3 megabytes, let's say, and you have 100 of them, that's 300 megabytes that you need to download, that you need to upload from time to time because maybe those drivers will be updated. So you will download the new driver and you will need to upload the new jar file to the server. And that's not, it seems like a very rigid system, very error prone. So every developer will have countless of jars on their machine in a specific folder and so on and so on. So is there any way that in some file, for example, let's create arbitrary file and I will name it jars.txt, for example, to say something like this: Postgres driver equal to, and then some URL or whatever, slash Postgres, and then on that site, the reference driver from the some website. So that file is located somewhere online. And if we need new version of our driver, instead of replacing the jar, doing everything, just increase the version here. Well, that's what build tools are meant for, and exactly this, in slightly different form, we are gonna do now. So let's create first new project for a second, and I will name it Gradle Java Mentor, and Gradle is selected, add sample code, everything is fine. Okay, create IntelliJ generated main class for us, and IntelliJ will do its job, and now everything is fine. If this is not compiling for you, you probably saw here in the top right corner setup SDK, so you'll just need to point to your Java where your Java is installed, or maybe you can right click here and say mark directory as source root and so on and so on. But it should be done automatically by IntelliJ. Now we have some files, build.gradle.kts. If we go there, IntelliJ will do its job. It's some file. There's some code there. It's not really necessary for now to know what is this all about. We can even delete those two lines. We don't need those. Okay, what do we need now? Let's copy paste from the previous project what we have. We have this code for deleting from database, right? Okay, copy. We'll paste it here. Awesome. And now we just need to include our driver, right? Well, instead of manually connecting our driver, what we can do is we can type on the internet PostgreSQL Maven. We can go to Maven repository, we can choose the version of our driver, and then we should choose Gradle Kotlin because that's what we chose. KTS, where it is? Yeah, here. KTS. It can be either Kotlin or Groovy. This is the Groovy, this is the Kotlin. So just copy paste this and add inside this file under dependencies. And this means our project depends on this driver. So make sure to download that driver and to include that driver in our project. So we didn't manually add a jar, we did it this way. Let's try to start our program and see if it works. Of course, it won't work if your database is not up and running on your computer, so make sure that your database is up and running. Mine is. Okay, let's try and let's do this. Let's do this select statements, right? Okay, run. Now first time it will take some time to download those jars from the internet, and let's just try without this where part because probably book with this name doesn't exist. So let's select all books to see what we have in the database, right? Okay, first record is, and we have some book by Anish Giri. That's the only book. If we try in our database, on book, select script, play, indeed that's true. There is only one book here. So what we did now is that now we are using build tool for fetching dependencies, for fetching those jars. This way, not manually. And that is a main purpose of build tools. So you don't bother yourself too much about jars, dependencies, and so on. You just list dependencies here and everything should be fine. What is Gradle? Gradle is one build tool, currently one of the most popular in Java world. Another popular tool is Maven. Those two are the most popular build tools that are used in Java. There are a few others, but Maven and Gradle are the most used and most popular tools. So we learned how to use Gradle and what's the purpose of it. Awesome.